Thanks for joining me today. I'm so glad that you're here with me. I have a cute little pattern for you to download off of the resource page on Tuesdays with Grace. I also have some great tips and tricks for quilting this fun little design. It's my sunflower block from my Story to Tell quilt. I had a lot of fun making it. It was a challenge for me, but once I figured out how to put the pieces together, man, it all fell into place. And so I'm really excited to present this cute little sunflower block to you today and show you how I'm going to quilt it. And I'm going to use the cool Wonderfoot 360 and show you a few things about that. By the way, it's on sale this week, 30% off. So if you don't have one, you'll want one after you see what I can do with it. So let me jump in because they told me I get a little long-winded, and so you guys are so great. You bear with me. So anyway, let's jump in and let's get started. And let me show you this cute little block. So you'll be able to download my simplistic instructions from the resource page with Tuesdays with Grace. Now, if you are not signed up for Tuesdays with Grace, please go and register. It is free of charge, and man, the pattern's free. Who doesn't like a free pattern? And I enjoy making the free patterns because I like piecing them together and then quilting them and seeing what ideas I can come up with. And I came up with this really cute sunflower design that I'm going to show you how to make it or draw it out and then quilt it. So let me first of all talk to you about how to piece it together. And so I'm going to come over here and show you. Okay, where am I standing? I don't want to stand too close, man. All right, let me show you how to piece it together really quick. This is just my real simple instructions. I just did 3 blocks for a table runner, but you could make this into a full quilt. Let me see if I can hold it up. See what you're going to be making? It's really cute. It's a really cute little block. So let me turn it this way. And I did it so it's on point. And so it's a little different on how you put it together. So what you're going to do is, I've given you the sizes and everything. You're going to cut out a 2.5-inch squares of assorted colors. Now I'm going to use this same block, and I'm going to do a black and white one and a red one. So I can't wait to show you what that turns out like, but I just pieced it together to show you the steps. So what you're going to do is, you're going to take that square and you're going to cut it in half at an angle, and it's going to give you 2 triangle pieces. So you're going to cut out your assortment of pieces, and then you're going to sew them back together with 2 different triangles. So that's kind of the first step, okay? The 2 different triangles. And make sure that if you have directional fabrics, hang on, we're trying to do a little work with the camera. So just a second, right? Where do you need it? Okay, just a minute. I've got to cut the thread here. With the Wonderfoot, it kind of keeps you in place and keeps you stable because it has that. Okay, I got it. We'll just pull that up here. I just wanted to cut my thread so we can move it. All right, now it's all yours. You can move it that way. He's trying to get the camera so you can see all the wonderful things I'm going to do with it. So, which camera am I on? Sorry, you guys. Shall I stand back because it looks a little bit... Okay, there I am. Hi. Sorry about that. You know, it's live. Things happen. So thanks for staying with me. Okay, so you've got your blocks, and you're going to do several blocks like this, okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing is you're going to cut out, using your white strips, you're going to cut out a main corner block, okay? And then you're going to cut out a smaller block, which we will have later on. Okay, so from the white, you're also going to cut out some white triangles as well, because you're going to use those. as we're piecing this corner piece together. And this corner piece is the one that I wanted to show you. Oh, here it is. Duh. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew together a group, a left and a right side. So this is my right side. And once I've got them sewn together, I always lay my blocks that I need to sew on top of each other, and so that I can just pick them up and sew them correctly. So once I have those done, I will always have a stack going where I have my left and my right, so I'm not messing it up. So, and then here is, I'll have a lot of lefts, but no rights, so I don't know what's going on there. All right, here we go. Here's one. All right. Well, it should be like this. Sorry, you guys. Wasn't as organized as I thought I should be, and I can't find it. So you'll have one left side and one right side. Ah, here we go. Here's one. Okay, so you'll have one that looks like this. So you're going to sew two of these together so that you have one left and one right. And in the block, there's 4 sets of these, okay? So you'll have 4 corners that you're going to use to make set in this block. So you're going to take one of these squares and you're going to sew this one on first, right side or the left side, it doesn't matter, okay? And then you're going to sew the other side onto it. And that will give you this block right here, okay? Then you're going to take 4 of your assorted squares, sew them together, and you're going to sew it to the bottom of this, and that is 1 corner. Okay, you're going to have 2 corners that look like this, and you're going to stabilize them. Can I pull this over so that they can see? So you can stabilize it and sew it onto this corner of this center square, okay? And then after you have these 2 corners done, the top and the bottom, down here, let me pull this away. You will add an extra little square on right here to these 2 sides, and then you'll sew these 2 sides on and you'll cut these off. This little extra square. Okay, so he said I could pull it back over, okay? So that's what you're going to do. So this will be a square, and this will be a square, and I just cut them off to make it a straight edge, and it worked out really nice. Look at the instructions. I know it was a little convoluted there because I was jumping around, but I just, really it's the corner sections that were the kind of the tricky part, but once I figured them out, man, it goes together really slick and really fast, and you can cruise through and make a fun little sunflower. You can make it into a wall hanging, you could make a pillow would be adorable, and then, or you could make the table runner like I'm doing, or you could also make a quilt. You could do 9 squares, 12 squares, it doesn't matter, the sky's the limit. Okay, so let's jump in and talk about how I'm going to quilt it. I really had fun figuring out a cute little design for you to quilt on this, and it's a sunflower. And you think, oh man, sunflower, it sounds really difficult. Well, I figured out a real simple way for us to be able to quilt it, and that's free motion quilting. So let me jump in and talk to you about how I'm going to quilt the center part. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do right here in the center. I don't know if I'm going to do some pebbling. I really like pebbling, but I don't know if it needs it. Maybe I'll measure some squares and do some squares, some cross-hatching, or I don't know. You'll have to wait and see, and I'll show you the finished product a future date. Well, but what I'm going to do is just sew in the ditch here, and that's what I'm going to use the Wonderfoot for. And what's nice about the Wonderfoot, you can see that, I hope you can see the Wonderfoot, it has the crosshairs on it. And so as I'm quilting along my ditch, notice how it does a 360 turn, and then I can go up this side and see how it kind of angles me. And as I'm quilting, that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to help keep me in the ditch. Now, because I like to quilt slowly because I like to stay in the ditch, I'm just going to go slow. And then as I get more familiar with the movements of the machine and everything, then I will probably get a little faster. But I like to take it nice and slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my threads over here, and I'm going to turn it on, and I'm just going to take it nice and slow across it, and notice how much fun it is. And then I'm just going to go up this side right here. I'm just going to take my time and have a good time. And it's going to keep me in the ditch. I'm just going to do a few of these because I want to get to the pattern so I can show you how to quilt it. And I have to change my foot to show you how to quilt it. You can see how the Wonderfoot works as I'm moving across. And so I'm going to stop right there. That was a lot of fun, but I want to jump in and show you how to make this cute little design. So I'll change the foot in just a minute, but let's jump over here. Let me see. Let me give it a thread tail because I want to pull up my thread. So I gave it notice how I pulled right here on the machine to give it a nice little, and I pulled the machine away to make a thread tail on top and a thread tail underneath. That way I can move over to where I stopped sewing, and I can insert the needle and do the needle up and down and then pull the thread up by just pulling it away. And that way I can just do it right there. And now I can pull it over here so that you guys can see how to make this fun little design. So what I'm going to do on my quilt is I have this 3.5, well, it'll be a 3 by 3 inch square, and I'm going to section this off into 3 by 3 inch sections to make this flower going all the way across and all the way around the quilt. So I used my nifty little ruler, our True Cut ruler, and this is the 3 by 8, and this is in the Quilt Perfect ruler set, hopping foot set. It's the Quilt Perfect set, will really keep you on track and nice and straight. That's another foot set that we've worked on that's very creative and really has some great feet. Don't be afraid to change feet. To have the machine work the way you want it and to be able to see what you're doing, these feet are made for you. And on your sewing machines, you have specific feet that will help you with your sewing, so why not with the quilting as well? All right, so let me show you what I did. I just made a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to section this square off so I have some markings to help keep it nice and consistent. So what I'm going to do is mark it, and I'm going to use a pencil. I wouldn't usually use a pencil on this, but I wanted you to be able to see how I was marking this. So I'm going to make an X, and then with this X, I'm going to do a plus. So I have my X. Now I'm going to do my plus. And these will help me section off to make it even as I'm going around making my flower, my sunflower. Okay, so now that I've done this, I'm just going to eyeball this part here. And I'm just going to start right here at this point here, and I'm just going to eyeball the middle. All right, and then when I come into the middle, and now I'm going to do my pebbling. Now I'm just showing you how I'm going to be drawing this. Cute little Amanda. She made it a continuous line design. I didn't, and I don't know that I know her way of doing it. So this is where I do my little pebbling for the little sunflower seeds, okay? So then I come out right here, I finished in the center here. I'm going to work my way back up to this point here. Now I'm going to come up and just do little swoops all the way across on all of these points, these lines, okay? As I'm going, and I'll use a marker on this in just a minute so that you can really see it. Okay, and now I'm going to stop, okay? She was able to bring this up, but I don't know if I can. Let's see. Nope, I can't do it. I have to, my right brain has to do it the way I learned it. So I'm going to start right up here, okay? And then I'm just going to do my little loops around, and I'm going to come up to a point, and then come up to the point, come up to the point, come up to the point, and see as I'm working my way around, how I'm making that loop right there in the center, and coming up to the point, and then I'm going to come down and finish off right up there. Okay, so let me use my Sharpie here so that you can see how I did that, okay? So I made my X's, you see those, okay? So then I'm gonna start right here on this line right here. I'm gonna make my circle. I'm gonna go around and do my loopies for my little seeds. I'm gonna come up in here, and I'm gonna try to end up right back here, okay? So now I've done that. Now I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to go all the way around, hitting each of those marking lines that I made. Okay, now I'm going to stop, pull up my threads, and then I'm going to start right up here at this point here, and I'm going to go all the way around. Look at how cute that is. Isn't that fun? There you go, our cute little sunflower. That wasn't that hard, was it? Now, let's make it and mark it and actually change the foot and quilt it. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, I am not afraid to change the feet. So I always have my tools nice and handy and available, so when I want to change my feet, and I also pull the feet that I'm going to be using in that session, okay? So it's not hard to take this off, what I'm going to do, but you do have to take it off the fabric to change it. So I will, and what's nice about the hoop frames is that you can easily unclamp something and move it. So I'm just going to move this off right here and pull this off to the side, okay, so that I can change my foot really quick. And I have my regular foot. I could use the open-toed foot. I could use a lot of different feet for this one. But I'm just going to use my standard hopping foot right here. I'm going to set it on, and notice that I have the needle in the up position. I just want to barely put this screw in because I don't want it to come out, okay? I'm going to barely put the screw in, and I'm going to finger tighten it just a little. But then I'm going to put the needle in the down position. And usually you should probably unthread it for this, okay? And then as I put it in the down position, okay, now I can put my foot height gauge underneath and put the foot back on it. I want it to make sure that there's no spacing in between, and then that's how I'm just going to tighten it up. Easy. See, that didn't take any time whatsoever to just tighten it back up. And you just want to tighten it just barely. You don't want to tighten it too hard. But now I can bring the needle back up and I can re-thread it. Let's hope these old eyes can see. And I might have to cut. And then we're going to sew this out. Cool. These eyes do see. All right. Now I'm ready to just slide and put this back on, this clamp back on. Give it a little bit of tension. And I'm going to just make another block here so that I have my measurements, and then I'm just going to show you how quickly and easily it is to mark this. Okay, so I'm just going to do a 3 by 3 inch square, and then I'll do my X. And you guys can practice along with me. It's not that hard to do once you figured it out. So I've made my square, okay? Now I'm going to do my X from top to bottom, and then across. Okay, now I need to do the plus. I've done my point to point. Now I need to do my plus. I did my plus. Okay, so just so that I have some markings to go off of, I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to go around. We'll keep going. Sometimes your pencil, if it's really sharp, will get stuck in the fibers. Just keep going, okay? And just eyeball it. You know, we don't, no sunflower is perfectly the same, okay? So it's okay to be a little more unique than others, and then you could just do practice, your pebbling. All right, and then you just stop. You're going to come right, well, we want to go around, sorry. I forgot this part right here, go around. Okay, and then you're going to go like this. And I'm just doing this, man. This is a little finer fabric. It's a little more, the weaving on this fabric is a little, not as quite as dense. All right, so let's give it a try here. All right, live. Here at the Grace Company, Karla is going to give it a try. Excuse me. So I'm going to insert my needle and bring my thread up. Notice I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to go around. All right, I'm going to stop right there because I have a little long thread. I'm going to put my needle in my down position, and I'm going to get rid of this thread right here. I don't want it there, and I don't want it to get caught in my design. So nice, see how nice that circle is? It's pretty good. And that's with marking on it. So now I'm going to go in through and do my pebbling. This is so much fun. I love the quilting part as much as I like the piecing part. And I love the challenge of finding a new design. Okay, so now I'm going to come up and I'm going to start doing my little center part like this. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. And now I'm coming back down. I'm going to stop it, okay? Now I'm going to cut my thread. See how fun that center is? Okay, I'm going to cut my threads here. I'm going to cut them all. Now, if you feel like you need to stabilize the stitch, go ahead and do it. That's just a couple of little stitches, and I'll show you how. So I'm going to start back up here, and I'm going to insert my needle and pull up my thread. Okay, now as I pull up my thread, I want to stabilize my stitch right here, so I'm just going to do a couple of needle up, needle downs to stabilize it. Okay, now I've stabilized it. Now I'm going to start going around and looping all the way around. Let's go. And I'm going to come up to a point and then loop. Come up to my point, 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 loop. And now I'm going to try and meet up right there. See? It turned out really cute. It was a lot of fun. Now, I know this is really short, but not all Tuesdays with Grace has to be these long-winded, Karla, keep going on and on and on. Make sure that you get your Wonderfoot. If you don't have that as part of your foot accessory kits, it's a great foot to have. You'll love it. You get 4 different lenses on it. You get a crosshair lens. You also get one that's a 1/4 inch and one that's almost 3/8. And so they're offsets. So they'll help you. The needle will be positioned right there in the ditch, but it's an offset, so you can do an offset of a 1/4 inch. It's a lot of fun. It's really such a good foot to have and to be able to use. And it just makes quilting very engaging. I don't get bored when I'm using the Wonderfoot. And so thank you for joining me today. And Janine says, I love the sunflower pattern. Will we be able to get the pattern? Yes, you will. Go to the resource page, okay? And download it. Now, if you don't see it there, we might not have it there quite yet, but make sure that you go and download it. If you don't, you can always email Karla, and that's Karla with a K, K-A-R-L-A, at graceframe.com. And you know, I'm just an email away. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see how you'll quilt this cute little table runner or quilt. I want to see what you do with the patterns that I make, because they won't be my patterns for long. They soon will become yours, and you will make it the way you want it. And that's how we roll here at the Grace Company. We want you to quilt the way you want to quilt. And I love teaching you new ways to engage with quilting. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, send them my way, and we'll explore quilting together. So thanks for joining me today. I hope I didn't mess up too much with my Miss Masha of telling you how to sew it together, but it's a lot of fun. I really want you to try it, the quilting side especially. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.